السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. من أمام شرطة ديربورن في ولاية ميشيغان. طبعا راح تبدي بعد قليل المظاهرات تضامنا مع جورج فلويد. تابعوا ويانا من واتساب ميديا، وراح نصور لكم طبعا المتظاهرين وقفة الاحتجاج أمام شرطة ديربورن في ولاية ميشيغان. تابعوا ويانا من واتساب ميديا شو الأخبار. طبعا بدأ التجمع هسه المتظاهرين اللي جاي يجون من ولاية ميشيغان، وخاصة من مدينة ديربون وديترويت وضواحيها. فبدأ التجمع أمام شرطة ديربون في ولاية ميشيغان. وبعدين يعني سألناهم عندهم كم كلمة يردون يلقوها على المنصة، فراح نتابع وياكم، وأيضا راح نسوي انتر فيوز ويا المحتجين الموجودين أمام شرطة ديربون. تابعوا ويانا من واتساب ميديا شو الأخبار تي في.
يا معلم ليش بتدعي وين العفو؟ وين الفعاليات الجالية العربية المشاريع؟ والله لماذا؟ كله بدنا نشرف وبدنا نحط الجيب وبدنا شو اللغة وين؟ فعاليات الجالية المشاريع كل هذا وين الله؟ اعتبر احكي فيها. نتأمل انه يكون في جالية، نتأمل انه قيادات. نحكي بعد تكتمل شوي يعني. هلا
الو تيست 1 2. طبعا ويانا احد الاخوه المحتجين وعنده فد كلمه يريد يحكيها انه على المظاهرات. الاسم الكريم
حسين.
مرحبا طبعا اول مره وشكرا جزيلا. يعني احنا نشوف الجاليه اللي جت هنا كثره بهم الضامنه، وهذا الشيء عمل انساني رائع. انتم جايين على شنو اليوم؟
والله يعني من يومين اجاني على الواتساب دعوة انه في مظاهرة سلمية قدام البوليس ستيشن، فطبعا انه بحكم تعاطفنا والاحتجاج اللي صار ضد اخونا البرادر رويد، فجينا عشان المظاهرة نعبر عن رأينا، نعبر عن رأي الجالية العربية انه ضد هذا. بس انا بتأسف انه وين يعني اقل شيء مشايخنا وقيادات اللي بتقول عن حالها قيادات بالجالية، عرف مني كيف يعني مفروض يكونوا موجودين متضامنين، وهذه اقل الشغلات.
عفوا حسين، طبعا قبل مش البارح، اول البارح هم عملوا وقفه تضامن هون، يعني مع تضامنت البوليس والقضاة ورجال الدين ايضا يعني وقفوا. بس انت بعد لك حر، يعني حر كيف الدعوه لهم، اذا تريدهم يجون مره ثانيه هذا شيء تابع لك اذا تحب تخاطبهم.
والله هو التحرك مش تحرك ساعة ولا ساعتين ولا ده يوم ولا يومين، التحرك هو مستدام ودائم، عرف مني كيف؟ فالعملية زي ما حكينا مش ساعة وساعتين ويوم ويومين، كل يوم لازم يكون في تحرك لحتى يصير في نوع من الضغط، عرف كيف؟ ويطلع قوانين صارمة بحق اللي عم بصير للعدالة. هذه هي.
ليش اختارتوا هذا المكان بالضبط، يعني امام البوليس ديربون بوليس؟
والله انا ما لي علاقه بالاختيارات، بس ولكن انه اجتني الدعوه على الواتساب فاجيت لبيتها يعني من ضمن هذا.
نعم. وتعرف يعني جالية راح يلتمون مثل اكو منظمات راح تجي؟
والله ما اعرف، بس انا بتامل انه شوف هالقيادات والمشايخ تكون موجوده وتعبر عن رايها، وحتى تمشي بالشوارع يعني بالشوارع الرئيسيه كمان تعبر عن رايها بشكل سليم وتفرجي تضامن. هذه هي لحتى اخواننا السود، عرفت من كيف؟ الامريكان افريكان، فهمت علي؟ يعني يشوفوا انه والله العرب منهم جماعه واقفين على الحياد. نعم. جماعه مع البرادرز ودي سبورتهم، وكل هالمسائل هذه، وهذا منطق وهذا لازم نعمله. شو الحديث هذا؟ اوكي بس هذه.
شكرا جزيلا، طبعا شاكرين هذا اللقاء الكلمات الطيبة استاذ حسن.
الله يعطيك العافيه وقبل الله فيك.
شكرا جزيلا. ابقوا ويانا من واتساب تي في، وشو الاخبار تي في، عفوا واتساب ميديا، ويمكن راح خلينا نشوف اكو تجمع واكو بعض الكلمات يحبون يحشوها.
Check.
Thank you.
Yeah, you gotta really speak into it.
And you hold that.
Yeah, and then really speak into the mic.
Thank you, Sarah, for organizing today. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for gathering together today on behalf of our brothers and sisters. I want to first share with you a statement from the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, which is much the same as many other of our brothers and sisters in the faith community who are speaking out in this day. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in America reaffirms commitment to combat racism and white supremacy. This is from May 29th. What does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God? From Micah 6:8. The Evangelical Lutheran Church in America reaffirms its commitment to combating racism and white supremacy following the recent murders of Black Americans. Ahmaud Arbery, Brianna Taylor, Drejon Reed, and George Floyd were our neighbors. Ahmaud Arbery was chased down, shot, and killed by a retired police officer and his son while jogging in Brunswick, Georgia, February 23rd. Brianna Taylor, a 26-year-old emergency medical technician, was shot 8 times by Louisville Metro Police Department officers who entered her apartment while serving a no-knock warrant March 13th. Drejon Reed, a 21-year-old from Indianapolis, died after being shot at least 8 times by an Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department officer May 6th. George Floyd was killed by police in Minneapolis while begging for his life, a block away from Calvary Lutheran, an ELCA congregation, on May 25th. As the Conference of Bishops, our statement says, we condemn the white supremacy that has led to the deaths of so many unnamed Black, Indigenous, and persons of color in our country. We grieve with, pray for, and stand in solidarity with the families and friends of all whose loved ones have been and continue to be victims of injustices run amok, racist violence, and the insidious venom of white supremacy. The ELCA's social policy resolution, condemnation of white supremacy and racist rhetoric, adopted by the 2019 ELCA Churchwide Assembly, states, as persons called to love one another as God has loved us, we therefore proclaim our commitment to speak with one voice against racism and white supremacy. We stand with those who are targets of racist ideologies and actions. As church together, we must work to condemn white supremacy in all forms and recommit ourselves to confront and exorcise the sins of injustice, racism, and white supremacy in church and society and within ourselves as individuals and households. On May 21st, the ELCA Southeastern Synod hosted a webinar, Becoming the Body of Christ, Condemning White Supremacy, in response to the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. This is one of many strategic opportunities happening across the church to address white supremacy and racist rhetoric. On June 17th, we will gather again as church to commemorate the Mother Emanuel 9 and to repent of racism and white supremacy. An online ELCA prayer service, including leaders from across the church and presiding Bishop Elizabeth Eaton as preacher, is being planned for June 17th, marking the 5th anniversary of the martyrdom of the Emanuel 9. We encourage congregations to reaffirm their commitment to repenting of the sins of racism and dismantling white supremacy that continue to plague this church by marking the day of penitence with study and prayer leading to action. And this was signed by the presiding bishop of the ELCA, the Reverend Elizabeth A. Eaton, and the bishops from across our church. And today, as a sister with you, I stand as a part of the human community on behalf of Black Lives Matter. And I offer this prayer from a booklet of uncommon prayer from Evangelicals for Social Action by Kenji Kuramitsu. The excerpt of the prayer reads, "Teach us, liberator of your faithful, to take the side of the oppressed as you did. Point us to the example of Moses, of your prophets, of Christ, who with boldness and truth proclaimed that the lives of the exploited matter. Amen."
I welcome anyone. There's waters placed around the perimeter of the area. If you need some water, go ahead and drink that up. It's really hot today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today to demonstrate your support for the Black Lives Matter movement. Today we gather together to celebrate Black lives and mourn the losses of our beloved brothers and sisters. Today we stand united with the Dearborn Police Department, who have given full support towards our being here today. I am so thankful for the encouragement and passion you all have shown, and I am honored to stand before you all today. It is our mission as a city to come together over the Black Lives Matter movement. We protested together before for the equity, well-being, and safety of our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters and our Hispanic brothers and sisters. And here we are once again fighting to be heard. They cannot silence our city. They cannot silence our efforts. To my dear Black friends, we are sorry it took so long to spark change. We follow our history back 400 years of oppression, mistreatment, violence, hostility, and hatred. The polarization between our nation is frightening, and some of our close friends and family's silence speaks volumes. It is time to hold conversations with those hesitant or refusing to be a part of our humanitarian crisis. Human beings are being murdered because of the melanin in their skin. I believe that one day your children and mine will live in a world where police adhere to their arrest guidelines, where asphyxiation is intolerable. It is inexcusable to be silent. You are feeding into their biased media and the unprecedented duty to protect and serve our Black brothers and sisters. This is the country that traded Black bodies for guns, rum, and cotton. This is the country where Black bodies were considered 3/5 of a person, where people were uprooted from their homes and forced to come here, where housing inequality still rules the market, where education is funded based on property taxes, directly affecting the inhabitants of the inner city. This is the country that murdered Emmett Till, Martin Luther King Jr., David McAtee, and George Floyd, and thousands of others that we will honor shortly with a moment of silence. And now, here we are, one of the most diverse cities in the Metro Detroit area. Look around you, take it in. You're making history by being here today. In a historically racist city. Do you remember Orville Hubbard? Hubbard was elected mayor 15 times just 80 years ago. He was openly racist and created the slogan, "Keep Dearborn clean," a message to keep Dearborn white. It is time we educate ourselves about our town's history and our privilege. Fighting for Black lives is intrinsic to the ability of our country and our world to function fully and properly. We will not succumb to silence. We refuse to give oppressors and bigots the power to continue to reign. Racial discrimination, murder, systematic oppression, it's all abhorrent. The animosity of those afraid of change is detrimental to the movement. To be silent is to make way for autocrats to manipulate the narrative and continue murdering our people. I feel as if we need to teach some people how to be human again. But we should not have to coach them to be outraged. We should not have to explain to them how believing Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that other lives do not. It means that Black bodies have been undervalued, cheated, beaten, enslaved, murdered, profiled, sold, and uprooted from their homes. It's time to adjust our lens. It's time to acknowledge your privilege. It's time to speak up. It's time for difficult conversation. It is about damn time for Black lives to matter. You ready?
Do you want to do the moment of silence first?
Oh yeah, so now we're going to be doing the moment of silence. So here we go. This is for George Floyd and all the other lives lost. Feel free to take a knee or hold up the Black Power sign. Thank you, and now I introduce my best friend, Alena Cauldron, who helped put this together.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elena Cauldron, and I'm so happy to have you guys here today. I would like to start off by saying Black Lives Matter, and then I would like to say thank you. To each and every one of you, thank you for being here in this moment. We are here today to take part in a peaceful protest and have our words heard. Hate and racism have no place here. Nobody should be treated different because of the pigment of their skin. No one should have to live in fear, and true freedom is the absence of fear. I wanted to share with you all a little lovely message I found by Jooma Alu. The beauty of anti-racism is that you don't have to pretend to be anti-racist. Anti-racism is the commitment to fight racism wherever you find it, including in yourself. And that's the only way forward. I encourage you all to practice this, teach this, and be anti-racist because people's lives depend on it. And though I am not Black, I support you, I mourn with you, and I will help you. We all cannot matter until Black lives matter. Thank you.
I open the floor for anybody who feels so called to speak today. I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Hello, everybody. I just want to say something quick. I am a Black American, and I have 2 sons, so this is near and dear to my heart. But it's not just for us. I wouldn't want to see any of you done the way that I've seen these things done out here in the streets, okay? None of us are any better than the other. We all bleed red. We all build these communities. We all get out here and make livings every day. Yes. All of us. So we all stand near and dear to this situation because regardless of the color of our skins, we are a community and we should thrive as one. We should bring our children up in love, okay? We should do these things. There is no reason for me to tell my 14-year-old son how to behave when he's pulled over by the police. There's no reason for me to fear for my son's life when he's pulled over by the police. There's not. But I will say this, and I'm done. Not every Black person is bad. Not every white person is bad. Not every Arab is bad. Nor are the police. I have had some great dealings with the Dearborn police here. Okay, I have. So I'm not singling this out for policemen. It's the policemen that are doing wrong that we want justice for. We want y'all to stop killing our citizens and it going away with no justice. That is all we want. That's all we want. We want justice for whatever happens. If I kill you, I don't get to walk around and go to Wendy's tonight. I go to jail. So a badge makes you no different. And we are tired of seeing these things happen. That is not what we hired these policemen for. They are here to protect and serve, and we will not allow you to keep killing our brothers and sisters.
Thank you. Thank you. No justice. Oh, you're going? Yeah. Okay.
Well, guys, I want to say this real quick. First of all, could y'all give it up for them putting this wonderful thing together? Could y'all clap that up? Now, I'm not going to be in front of y'all long, but I'm going to be 100% truthful. I moved to Dearborn 3 years ago, right down the street on Michigan and Schaefer. And like she said in her speech, historically, we've heard many stories about Dearborn being racist. I was divorced. This was the first place that was open, and I took it. I've been here 3 years. And if you knew me being a Black man, how many people I heard say, dog, you moving to Dearborn? I wouldn't do that. I'm not going around there. Didn't want to come visit me because of what they thought Dearborn was. And like she said right before me, every police officer isn't a terrible person. They have a job to do. We understand that. but do your responsibility. You know, we are all human beings. We are a human race. I'm looking at this crowd, and don't laugh at me. Well, you can. I'm a gentle giant. I'm a sensitive giant. And I saw all these people of all types of races here together. And like she said before, Black Lives Matter, definitely. And all lives will matter once Black Lives Matter. So let me get y'all to throw your hands up one more time and say Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
One more time, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not. What do you want to do? What time? 5:34.
Anybody else feel called to speak?
Greetings, everyone. I would humbly like to say something. Okay.
Oh, sorry. If you can turn it around.
Oh, sure. So I just wrote something down that I would like to share with everyone. A man by the name of Hussein ibn Ali said, "Whoever is silent when others are oppressed is guilty of oppression himself." We have all gathered here today as one human family like everyone around the world, in Berlin, in New Zealand, in Minnesota, in California, and Ohio, to take a stand against oppression and injustice. This very country was built upon the vision of freedom and justice. At the same time, throughout this country's history, our black brothers and sisters have been oppressed, whether it was slavery, rape, lynching, inequality, or police brutality. This racism has also extended to the Asian, Mexican, and Muslim communities. One decision took George Floyd's life, and another one took Brianna's, and another one took Ahmadu's. And on a large scale, our country has gone to Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq to wage war on terrorism and in the name of freedom. Over the last 20 years, around 7,000 soldiers have lost their lives in that war. Here in the United States, between 2013 and 2019, 7,666 people have been killed by the police. Also, black Americans are almost 3 times as likely to be killed by police than a white American. Almost the same amount and maybe even less soldiers have died over 20 years of fighting terrorism compared to police killings within 7 years. Clearly, we, the people of the United States, have to fight the injustice and terrorism within. Instead of our country spending nearly $1 trillion on defense, our country should invest in the defense of the systematic oppression of its people, invest in the underprivileged communities, invest in the underprivileged communities, invest in the potential and happiness of all our youth, especially our black American youth. I would like to conclude with this. It is great we are protesting, but we have to do more. We have been protesting for 100 years, and everything is still the same. I believe we have to work on laws that have to be passed. For a police officer does not have any right to take another innocent human being's soul. And if they do so, I believe they should be in prison for the rest of their lives, or they should have a death sentence. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing.
You want to speak?
Thank you.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to be very honest with you. Since these tragic events have taken place, I have not been able to bring myself to write out a social media caption that was well enough to, portray the feelings that I'm feeling and the feelings that everybody here is feeling and everybody all across the country is feeling. But we're here. We're here peacefully. Not all of us are black, not all of us are white, not all of us are Arab, but we're here, man. We're here and they see it. Yes. We're here and they see it.
Yes.
You're here peacefully protesting. They see you, but they need to hear you. They need to hear you. They don't need to hear you just screaming in the streets. Your job, your duty as an American citizen, as somebody who believes in equality, as somebody who is colored, or as somebody who is just anti-racist, it is your responsibility to go home and spread this message to your family. Because the anti-blackness and being anti-racist starts in your home. It starts in your home. It starts in your community. There is no reason why a black citizen or a black human being, even if you're not a citizen, who is walking down the street should be shaking in fear of having their lives taken by a police officer. That goes for blacks, that goes for whites, that goes for Hispanics, that goes for anybody. Because you know what? Human life is human life. We're all here to live. We're all here to live peacefully. We're all here to love one another. And that love starts in your home, and that love starts by loving your community and loving your city, because this is our city. This is our community. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well spoken. Would you like to speak? Take it away.
I just want to say first, I appreciate the organizers of this event. Thank you for putting this on. My name is Attorney Sean Whitehead. I'm here today to make sure to represent the people, make sure your rights are protected. I have here register to vote and also information about how you could do so online. Your voice matters. That's why we're all out here. That's why the whole country is out here. That's why the world is out here. And I had to come out here to Dearborn because, for one, I want us to keep it safe, period. No looting, no violence at all. It would not be acceptable. A goal that I put up online today, and I can't believe how much this movement has taken over. A goal that I put up online today was for us to have a peaceful protest, period. And that means that if the police would like to walk with us, we would appreciate it. The example of Flint set, these people didn't have water. These people didn't have water in Flint for years. And their police can still work with them. And I believe that Dearborn police can work with us. I truly do. If you see what happened in Troy, if you see what happened in Troy, they took a knee. So I put down as my second goal, not only to have the police here walk and talk with us, I ask that the police peacefully take a kneel in solidarity with us. And then last, for the leadership of this country, we only need 3 words from you on 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and that's Black Lives Matter. If you say that, it will ease the pain, Mr. President. It will ease the pain. Utter those 3 words. Utter those 3 words. Black Lives Matter. I'm Attorney Sean Whitehead. If you would like to get any, we also here, because there's a lot of people that have different narratives. They're out here saying that this is not worth it. It is, and I'm here with PPE to make sure to let you know that there's 2 crises in this country. So I have gloves and masks to let you know that COVID is still real and racism is still real. I have my Get One Law shirt on. You can find more information at getonelaw.com. Thank you. Thank you. And we also have water.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, of course. Go ahead. You first. There you go. Oh.
Do I have to hold anything?
Just right there.
All right.
Take it away.
Hello, everyone. What I don't hear being talked about is substantial change. We need to defund police officers. There is no reason why they should be dressed up as military. There is no reason why they should be attacking us as military. They're serving us. We need to defund police. Defund police. Put these funds, these tens of billions of dollars that we spend every year on police and on the prison industrial complex. And move it into education. Move it into clean water, clean facilities. And poverty is fixed by defunding all of these regulations that have been here to oppress us. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to speak? Here you go. How do I press on it? Just this one. Thank you.
We have boundaries between poor and rich.
After
The cops want to take a knee, but
Not right police there. You cannot walk there. You know?
Everybody, our Dearborn police would like to take a knee in honor of the lives that we have lost. Black Lives Matter!
Where you take a knee and then you're gonna take it away. I'll come back.
Thank you, Dearborn Police. Thank you,
Thank you, Dearborn. Thank you.
This is the way it works. Should this message go all over the country? Where's the team?
Kevin Matthews!
Where's the
team? Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! They have been! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Black Lives Matter!
Here you go. Thank you so much.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Now all lives matter.
All lives matter!
They right.
Anybody don't have a mask? We have some. We have some for you guys.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to reiterate the person that went before me, their statement. We are so lucky to live in Dearborn, but racism still exists here. Racism still exists in our police department, in our homes, in our schools, in every system.
That's right.
It is not enough.
That's right.
We have to have our cops trained.
That's right.
We have to have them not see black skin as a weapon. Black skin is not a weapon.
That's right. That's right.
We have to have them have screening.
That's right.
They have to have screening against anti-blackness. It is not enough that they are on the streets every day. We have to see them make change. And it starts here. It starts with the Dearborn police. It is not enough that they just took a knee. They have to stand with us in all aspects of the community.
That's right.
I am sorry. I'm yelling. I am so done with this. I have seen so many black people die. I have seen so many black people seen as a threat, and I am tired of it. I am tired of it.
That's right.
I want to see change. Don't tell me that Black Lives Matter. Show me. Show me Black Lives Matter. Show me through screening. Show me through training.
You go, girl. Need to be retrained.
Can I just speak a little bit?
You got a lot to say. We need to hear it too.
Hello, everyone. We're here to stand with our brothers and sisters, Black Lives Matter, to bring everybody united. We have to be united. Every American citizen, we have to work together. We have to rewrite our system. We have the most corrupted system. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, you go across the street in Canada, they have a health care, they have a housing, they have student loans, they have everything. We don't have everything. We need to get this thing. America is a very rich country. I would say to our government, to Mr. President, stop throwing our money in the ocean. Stop having wars. Stop putting money in somebody's pockets. Stop supporting the rich. We need to support the poverty. We need to fight this. We need to fight poverty. Please support everybody. We have a lot of needy people in this country. We have homelesses. We have people with a lot of sickness. We have health problem. We have Medicaid problem. We need to solve these problems. If we solve this problem, we're not gonna have no violence in the street. I'm sure.
You guys want to
Thank you guys all for being here today. I'm not black, but I stand with our black brothers and sisters as a member of the Arab community. I'm also a medical student, so for me, watching this is extremely painful to see that it's allowed for our police departments to use the chokehold as a method of restraint. Floyd did not die of any of the health issues he had. He died from asphyxiation. He died because he was choked. He was choked. Do you know how long it takes for your brain to die without oxygen? It takes 3 minutes. 3 minutes is not enough to go to the hospital. 3 minutes is not enough to live once your trachea has been crushed. That should not be allowed by the police. And that's the police's job, to find the racism within their own department and not allow the use of the chokehold as a method of restraint. He was not fighting back. And our black brothers and sisters have not been resisting arrest, and they've still been treated like they have been. So I ask the police department itself to stop using the chokehold as a method of restraint, to stop murdering the black brothers and sisters in our community. Thank you.
I can't breathe! 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 That's right.
I just wanted to add one more thing. It's not enough for us to be colorblind.
That's right.
We must celebrate our colors and our cultures. It is time to be anti-racist. It is not enough to just not be racist. You must actively fight against racism every day, every decision that you make, everything. Because Black Lives Matter. There is water, everyone. If you guys are feeling a little dehydrated, we have water.
Can we get the chief out here? Where's Ronald Haddad?
Yeah, where's the chief?
Where's Chief Haddad?
Where's the chief?
Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Where's the chief? Scared, y'all.
Hey, that speaks volumes in its own.
Yeah, he's scared.
That speaks volumes in its own.
He should be speaking.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say a few words because I've never been so proud of my life of young people, because many of the speakers that were up here today were students in my history and government class here in Dearborn Public Schools. I'm so very proud of the young people that have been coming out here today and that have been coming out during these protests. From a previous generation, guys, all I can say is that I'm sorry, because we should have done more in our time, and you guys, the young people, are doing so much more right now than we ever did. And as a history teacher, everybody needs to understand, because there's been a lot of criticism of these protests, that nothing has ever changed for the better in the United States until people were in the streets demanding change, not because somebody in Washington changed it for them. Just keep that in mind with every criticism that you hear about what's going on with these protests. This is a systemic issue. This was not just about George Floyd. This is about systemic racism in America. And our young people are not going to let up. The people in the streets are not going to let up, because going into the streets has solved so much more and has done so much more for civil rights and workers' rights in this country than anybody in Washington has ever done, because they don't do anything unless you guys put the pressure on them. That's all I wanted to say. I'm so proud of everyone that's here today. I'm so proud of my students for organizing this. Thank you. God bless you all, and Black Lives Matter.
The chief will be coming out in 5 to 7 minutes, but now we have another speaker.
Hi. I'm a camera person. I cover the news for a living. I don't ever do this. We do not come out from behind the camera. But I felt compelled to commend you because I see the worst and the best in people all the time. And you guys have shown an example of how to protest and have your message heard. So thank you for that. And I also think you guys should give commends to the Dearborn police because they made it possible and made it peaceful in return. So thank you for being peaceful and thank you for doing this the way you have done. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
Thank you, brothers and sisters, my community members and Americans. Today is a historic day that we all stand together and everybody should ask why I'm here. I'll give you a different perspective. We follow a faith, and our faith religious. Imam Ali, he said, be with the oppressed and stand against the oppression. George Floyd represents the oppressed in the world, and the chokehold and the knee is not on his neck, but on every oppressed person of the earth. From Iraq, from Afghanistan, from America, Black and African American brothers are the most oppressed nation since history. After one event, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, everybody. There's no response. Just look at the picture again and remember that chokehold. That chokehold is on the African pulse. When all the African Americans were brought in as slaves, my dear brothers and sisters, we should rise above the color also, and whites are oppressed also in a different way. There's economic oppression. The coronavirus is oppression. The way it was handled, I'm a physician, and I saw people die in front of my eyes. 100,000 lives just lost. The worst public health system in the world, and they send people to moon. They're sending people to space just now. So billionaires are becoming billionaires. Richer people are becoming richer. So I think my perspective is, it should not be an emotional reaction. It should not be. What happens with all these movements? You remember there was a 1% movement, 99%. These movements get infiltrated by people who are against the people, and they are also sent by the establishment. The establishment, the deep state, will never let people unite. Will never let. What happened to Dr. King? What happened to Malcolm X? What happened? So whenever people will rise, it's time we need to wake up. We need to realize our responsibility. Our younger brother, is so great to see you guys have organized this program. I think the youth are the future of any nation. Yes, we must unite above religion, above race, above color, and unite as oppressed, and I think speak against the system. It's a systematic oppression. It's not, politicians come, politicians go. They all deceive us, We need to stand together, and I really thank everyone in this heat they come, and we pray, for the soul of George Floyd. And our heart bleed when you look at his picture. So many people we have lost, It's a big tragedy. We hope that things will change. The police, I request our police, please, 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 please consider us as human beings, There's no use of using undue force against unarmed civilian who was just a minor. And when he was saying, I can't breathe, the second person who is equally involved is the guy who was standing there and looking at him. We need to arrest all those three other cops. Just say, no more silence, no more silence, no more silence, no more silence. I can't breathe, 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 I can't breathe.
Now I introduce to you Chief Haddad.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first thank you for having the courage to stand up for what's right and what's great about our community. Let me tell you that I've been a cop 47 years, and I have done everything I can to instill in our police department that we train everyone to be civil and kind to our community. I can tell you that, all right, only one of us can speak, and I'll gladly yield to you. Okay, so if I can continue, I can tell you that our men and women here respect our entire community. And when I say entire community, I mean everyone that comes in here and everyone that lives here. Clearly, what happened in Minneapolis to George Floyd was a travesty. It was a human tragedy, and it's something that's totally unacceptable to law enforcement. I can tell you that when I have a new rookie officer here, I hand them a copy of this Constitution, and I tell them that every single person that comes to our city is entitled to the safeguards of this Constitution.
Peaceful, please. Make it peaceful, please. We need to hear.
And I also remind them,
Let them to finish talk.
I'll gladly yield to you. Again, I tell you, if you want to speak, I'll gladly yield to you.
And the lady, she can go next.
Okay. And I remind them that every single person that comes in our city is entitled to the safeguards of this Constitution. I further... All right.
Let him talk and then you can. Give him a chance, people, please. Give him a chance.
Peaceful!
I understand that, but we need to point out the real problem, and it's the justice system. There is no justice. There's a microphone, and you can get up on the microphone. Keep on the microphone. Take your turn! Take your turn!
Okay. All right, so let me finish. Let me finish, and I'll gladly yield to them. Everybody has the right to an opinion, okay? So...
Take your turn.
Why don't you guys ask
Peaceful, please. Okay, can the chief speak? Take your turn.
Okay, peaceful.
You're next. You're next. You're next. What do you want to say? I understand that. What I'm trying to say is, Chief, just be logical about what you're going to say. Take your time. You're going to say it and direct it right. Because a lot of people not here to hear. Can you please give him a chance to talk? I understand that. You're next. Take your turn and say everything you want to say. We will listen.
Chief. Go, Chief. All right, so let me suggest this, that we have done everything we can to reform our police department. Let me also suggest that we have let the Department of Justice, we've let PERF, we let every major university come in here and examine what we've done. I am very confident that when the reform goes across the country, they're going to use Dearborn as an example. I'm very confident of that. And let me just say this, that...
How much money you put in their pockets to use your
Okay, well, training, accreditation, and good personnel does cost money, but I understand where you're going with that. And I will stand behind the men and women here who, after making 7,000 arrests, 70,000 police runs, writing 40,000 tickets, and some people say that's not enough, visiting schools 800 times a month. Last year, we only had to go hands-on with 30 individuals in our city.
How many black people did you arrest out of that percentage?
I don't have that number. I can also tell you that every use of force is examined by everyone in our department up to me within 24 hours, and there is no chief or no department in the country that can stand here and tell you that. And I know that given the vulnerabilities of what we do every single day, that we're only as good as our next action. So I'm here to tell you we're committed to be civil, to respect our community, and to do the very best we can to keep everyone safe. The very fact that we are all here today, and we invited you here today. This is nothing new for Dearborn and nothing new for Dearborn Police. We have let hundreds of groups come in here and voice whatever they wanted to voice in a wave of concern, and your message is your right, and we don't take exception with your message, but we will defend your right to say it. I'm going to always stand to salute the flag, but I would take a knee for justice and against police brutality any day of the week. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
I wish Colin Kaepernick wouldn't have lost his job behind it. I wish Colin Kaepernick wouldn't have lost his job behind it. I wish he wouldn't have lost his job.
Kevin Matthews!
He kneeled too. And got blackballed. I wish Colin Kaepernick could have kneeled in peace. Y'all forgive Colin Kaepernick too.
Listen,
forgive Colin Kaepernick. Y'all blackballed that man for 4 years because he stood up for police brutality.
Give her the mic! Give her the mic!
Give her the mic!
Come on.
Give her the mic! Right. Give her the mic! Somebody should say that too. Somebody should say that too. Y'all sit here and y'all watch the chief of police give a knee and everybody clap. Y'all blackballed Colin Kaepernick for 4 years because that man stood up against police brutality. What is wrong with this picture? That's all he was doing was protesting police brutality peacefully. And you clap for him? Y'all need to forgive that man and let that man get back to work.
All right, the things I want to really speak on is the fact that they keep telling us about this reform. He just said that they're used to seeing y'all here talk about this, but still ain't no change happen. Why is it taking so long for the change to happen in Dearborn? And some of these cops are also brown based off the Arab descent. But when y'all was here and your ancestors came over here, they was getting robbed and fucked with too, excuse my language, because they were Arabs. Because this city once was ran by whites. Understand that? So I'm not trying to come for white people for real unless you're a racist. But let me tell you something. That shit was taught to you from generation to generation to generation. You may not realize you're being racist, but understand microaggression. Understand that. Then we can see the real change. All this stuff you talking, we don't want to hear that. We want to see the action behind it. We hear the same thing every single year, every decade, every 100 years. It's the same thing all the time. But ain't no real change happening. Ain't no mayor of Dearborn here with us. Why is it only the chief? Where's the rest of the team at? Why don't you just come join us and say the same shit how you feel? Yeah. Some of y'all feel that, but y'all too scared to lose your job if you speak up against brutality. And those of you that stand right next to a cop and let him beat down a black man or a brown man or anybody for that matter and not do a goddamn thing, you need to be convicted as well right along with the next. And if you ain't gonna give it to us, we're gonna take it at any means So, whatever you gotta do, y'all need to come check in with us and let us know what y'all doing, because if you're doing it wrong, we have to correct you so you know you stay on the right path. It ain't about your mentality, it's about our mentality too. It ain't about your justice, because everybody was screaming out blue lives, but none of that matter if blue lives the one that killing here. Y'all worried. The only reason why y'all did this is for y'all don't look bad. I'm not talking to them because they here with me and I'm here with them. Where y'all at? Right there. You know what I'm saying? I respect what y'all do for the most part if you're doing it right. But if you're out here profiling everybody, you fucking wrong, homie. You know you gotta give it to us first, homie. We've been dealing with this since slavery time, homie. Your system is ran off slavery. And don't act like y'all don't know that. And if they really give a fuck about race, they would stop second grading us in the motherfucking prison system too. When the blacks gotta go with the blacks, Mexicans gotta go with the Mexicans, and the whites gotta go with the whites. But let me tell you something. We're more united in there with the black and brown than we are out here, and that's a fucking problem.
Train your cops! 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 Train your cops!
Peace and love, y'all. Keep it cool, keep it right, and be logical about what you're doing, how you say things. Because it can be easily taken the wrong way. Some of you who are not black, understand this. Sometimes we try to talking. It don't work. Sometimes we try to silence. It don't work.
That's right.
This time we gotta put our motherfucking foot down like they did my motherfucking brother.
That's right.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
You gotta put your foot down like they did my brother, George Floyd. Put your foot down on their neck and pressure it. Kill the racism. Kill everything that they got holding to say they sell.
Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd!
I just want to acknowledge that it wasn't that long ago that Dearborn Police Station was used to house ICE detainees. So, we can get up here, the cops can get up here and say they're doing everything they can, but at the end of the day, people of color in this country and in the city even are policed very differently. So, I don't want a cop to come up here and take a knee for 5 minutes. I want to acknowledge that people talk about, how this is a peaceful protest and they characterize it differently than other ones. I was at the Detroit protest. In Detroit, that was one of the most peaceful protests in all major cities in the U.S. The only destruction that happened was to police cars after they drove through crowds of us, and my husband had to pull me out of the way so I didn't get run over by a cop. So, I just want to acknowledge that nothing in this country has ever happened without people protesting. The Civil Rights Act wasn't passed because our senators honestly grew a heart. It was passed because people protested in the street for 7 days straight. We caused $47 million in property damage, and then as a concession, the government passed the Civil Rights Act. Unions didn't win the 40-hour work week and weekends without protesting. So we need to get outside. Yes, we need to donate money. Yes, we need to educate our neighbors, but we need to get outside and on the streets. And don't fall for the trap of you're not from the city of Detroit, so you can't protest there. The cops are not from the city of Detroit there either. There are safety in numbers. We need to go together and protect each other. And next time when we're peacefully protesting and no property at all is destroyed and we're still tear gassed like we were on Friday, like they were on Saturday, like they were on Sunday, then I'd like to hear them say that it's not peaceful.
Hi everybody, my name is Leslie Herrick. I serve on Dearborn City Council, and I'm disappointed that nobody else from our City Council is here at the moment. But I know that I'm not alone in believing that you need to have justice and peace and understanding in order to have a civil society and for us to make progress. So I respect and I admire you for being here today to speak up, because it does take everyone's voices to make change. The woman who was just speaking a moment ago talked about the ICE detainees that the Dearborn police, the jail used to house as they were being transported between different locations. When a new council member and myself came on board on the city council, we started asking a lot of questions about that because it was a revenue generator for our city. But we said, what is the cost? What is the real cost to bring in that money? And it isn't worth the lives and not knowing where they're going or what they're going to face once they leave here. So we made change based on our own investigation, but that came to us from people like you. So please continue to speak up. Go to your elected officials. But I want to say something about the Dearborn Police Department. I've lived my whole life here in Dearborn, and I have the utmost respect for our police chief and the training that he's seen that our police department has. I know I'm not black. Very clearly, I'm not black. But our police department is a leader, and when it comes to training...
This is not it, man. This is not the point. Acknowledge your privilege.
No, I'm only addressing it because I heard it being yelled about, and I wanted to talk about that.
This is not your case.
Let me speak. Black Lives Matter. And the
this.
Yes!
Because I'm an attorney, I'm a criminal lawyer, and I didn't talk about the criminal justice system in the prison industrial complex and institutionalized racism that happens. So let me speak about that and how we change the system in criminal reform. And if they kill me, it'll be on video, okay? Because what happens is, when you apply for the CIA, when you apply for the FBI, they vet you. They vet you. They look at every phone call. They look at every text message you've ever sent. We need to do that for police to make sure that there's no racist texts in there, that there's no bad affiliations that they're associated to. Secondly, we need longer training.
That's right.
Third, we need our police to look like us.
That's right.
In our community, they need to live in our community. As a black attorney, let me tell you this. It starts all the way from the lawyers, the prosecutors who work with the police, and Brother George Floyd, don't be surprised if that medical record comes out tainted. Don't be surprised, because that's what they do. That's what they do. Don't be surprised if they get their buddies to write the reports. That's what they do. I do this for a living. So let me tell you this also, is that the only way that this is going to change is if you get out here and vote. Period. You have to change the prosecutors. You have to change the judges. Trump has put in over 200 federal judges. That's a problem because of how Trump thinks. Period. Those people think like him that he put in there. So when we get disproportionate sentences for our black brothers and brown brothers compared to others because of privilege, that is why. It's because our president has put judges and prosecutors in that position. We can't allow that anymore.
I just wanted to let you guys know, over to your right, you can register to vote, and we're going to have one more speaker.
Hey, did you know about the wall? Did I cut into it? I think I might have stepped too fast.
Do we want him to walk with us around the block?
Okay, yeah, we having a walk after this. I don't know. I just got told.
And there will be a walk after this that we'll take part in together.
Join us, Blue. Join us.
That's right.
They should be walking with us.
That's
Join
right.
us, Blue.
That's
Asking
right.
you to walk with us.
That's right.
Walk with us. Walk and talk.
Hey everyone, I'm Hey everyone, I just wanted to say a couple things and address the non-black audience we have in front of here, because sometimes you may be thinking that you're doing the right thing, calling for unity, but really you're harming the movement that Black lives have been trying to build for years. The time for kneeling is gone. They tried 5 years ago. If you want to be an ally, it's beautiful that you come out in your community, that you speak to your police chief, but having them kneel in front of a camera or speak in front of people is not enough. If he really wants change, he could release the percentage of black people versus white people that he pulls over in Dearborn. He can release what anti-racist changes they are going to implement. It is crucial that we demand not a show for Facebook or Instagram, that we support our black brothers and sisters in what they are asking. It is also crucial that every single person here goes to Detroit and stands on guard for our black brothers and sisters who are out there. Don't be louder than the black people around you. Don't be causing commotion that's going to end up affecting their lives. Stand there, check other white people around you, tell them to shut up, back them off, make sure that black lives are highlighted, that their voices are the loudest, and that you are standing beside them and putting your body on the line for them. Also, it starts in your home. We all have amos, gatos, citos, jitos, moms, dads who don't understand the gravity of what's happening to black lives. Talk to your dad who owns the store not to call the cops on a black life for a can of tuna, because that could cost them their life. Talk to your jito about talking about black women's hair or touching it. Talk to your family about the things they are doing wrong, and talk to your elected officials. And lastly, why does Dearborn have a white mayor? This is what I don't understand. It doesn't affect Autumn black people. And it's going to affect your kids when they're done killing their kids.
That's right.
One more thing. Not to take away what you said about standing in Detroit, but let's be real. Detroit's one of the diversity cops that we have. Most of our predominant force is actually black if you actually pay attention.
Yeah.
Now, the real cities that we have to attack, not necessarily attack, excuse me, because I know you're going to take my context out, but let me rephrase that. The ones that we have to approach and really make change is the one on the outside of Detroit who don't have black communities within them.
Right.
We have brothers and sisters. Hold on. We have brothers and sisters who live out there.
That's right.
They may feel safe, but they really not.
No.
They deal with the racism every single day, from the day they wake up to the day they go to sleep. The time they walk in the store, the time they even come outside their house, their neighbor might be white or whatever case they may be, might be racist and giving them dirty looks every goddamn day. What about your kids staying outside in Livonia or Redford or them other cities and the kids in the neighborhood making fun of them because of their hair, their skin too dark, so on and so forth. The real change is on the outside of where the racism is at. We don't deal with racism in Detroit like we used to because we made the change already. The change has to be on the outside, the metropolitan areas who claim they from Detroit, who claim the city of Detroit, but you are not Detroit because Detroit is a brown and black pride unit. We are out here doing everything we can to change the way we live in Detroit, from the west side to the east side to downtown, everywhere. We don't need your help to gentrify nothing. What we need is you to correct your peers and your counterparts and do it right. Detroit is not the place, it's Livonia, Redford, whatever other city, Westland, Dearborn Heights, any other cities you want to shout out that need to be corrected, go ahead. Let me hear it. What other cities do you know? What other city? Taylor! Give me another city! Another city! Southgate! Grosse Point! Give me another city! Another city! They need to know the cities to go to. We need to know the cities to go to and apprehend. Let's go. What other? Lincoln Park, Allen Park, Warren, Warrendale, St. Clair Shores, Home, Mount Clemens. Where else? We go about county, Wayne County, Oakland County, Macomb County. What other counties we need to correct? Commerce. Stay focused on that. That's where the change happens, right there. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna run away from here and they're gonna keep redlining and redlining and redlining. And if you don't know what redlining is, please do your history. Please do your history.
That's right. You say that.
Black Lives Matter, and I love every last one of y'all. That's why I'm out here today. Fuck the bullshit. We're not here for them. We here for us, and let's lead the lead to be free. Peace and
Hi, my name is Zaina. I'm an attorney as well, but I'm currently doing child sex abuse cases. My point is that right now what we see on TV, we've seen a video of George Floyd, we've seen Ahmaud Arbery, we've seen the videos. And because we've seen the videos, there is justice. But what about Brianna Taylor? Brianna Taylor was gunned down in her own home. She was sleeping. The police...
8 shots. 8 shots.
Okay. With Brianna Taylor, what pisses me off the most is this. As a lawyer, you learn when a warrant is issued, you are to knock and to announce. If you are a police officer, you are to check to see if the perpetrator is in jail or at home. You double check the warrant to make sure you go to the right house. You announce yourself when you enter someone's home. They did none of these. So yes, her boyfriend shot at a cop because he did not know. They were dressed in plain clothes, barging into their home. Where is justice for Brianna Taylor? No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Look, I want to say one thing. I want to say one more thing before, I shut up. So, all you guys are out here, right? Don't let anybody tell you that they gave you permission to be here. That's right. It is your right to be here. That's right. It is your right to speak up. That's right. Don't let a department give you permission to be here. That's right. Because deep That's right. They're here for the picture. And let me tell you one more thing. The councilwoman that came up here, Miss Leslie Herrick, and talked about the ICE detainees, you know, that council did not, that council weren't the ones who voted it down. These were I organized that protest along with an organization at my school. I organized that protest along with youth. People showed up. We showed up and we protested and we walked to the city council meeting. We walked there. And then once we got there, we packed the damn room. And then what happened? They didn't put that shit down. They tabled it. Because we were there, because we saw it. Because we saw it. So there's no justice because they see it. There's justice because we see it and we call it. Don't let anyone tell you when you get to have your voice. Do not let anybody tell you when you can protest. That is your right. That is your right.
Let your voice be heard.
We're all in this together. White, black, Arab, Mexican, whatever you are. I don't care. We're in this together. It is your right. You show them who owns this community. We do. Your community. We do.
Okay, everybody together. People united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. Louder, united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. People united will never be defeated. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Louder. Black lives matter. 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 Don't fight. Long live God.
Hello, my name is Madeline. I am the third organizer of this protest. Let me just say, I did not be a part of this protest to come here and make the police department look better. I did not come here to make them look good. That was not my image. We are here today to say that Black Lives Matter. I did not come here to plan to take a kneel with them and make them look good for the picture like everyone else is saying. Black Lives Matter, that is why we are here. No lives matter until Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
I just want to do a moment of chanting for 2 lives that were taken by this police department. And if you guys want to do anything, maybe push them to reinvestigate these issues. Kevin Matthews was a mentally ill man who was walking away when he was murdered by Dearborn police. And Janet Wilson was murdered at Fairlane Mall in the middle of the day in a shopping trip, a mother. So chant with me. Kevin Matthews! 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 Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Kevin Matthews! Kevin Matthews! Janet Wilson! Janet Wilson! Okay, first of all,
No peace! No justice, no peace!
No racist police!
No racist police!
okay, first of all, I just want to say that this is not their publicity stunt, and we should be done rewarding the bare minimum because someone taking a knee for justice and lives, that's not something that should be rewarded. That should be the basic minimum. Okay, when people are dying out on the streets because of the color of their skin, and by the way, the most advanced country in the world should be able to guarantee their people life. Okay, when it's the life that we are naturally born with that don't apply to people of color, black people specifically. But then when white people want to do something, we sit here finding loopholes within the Constitution to guarantee their safety and their freedom.
Right. Yes, we do. Thank you.
Can I say one thing? Can I just say one last thing? To the officers that took the knee with us, to the officers all across the country, if you feel that what George Floyd did was right, please turn in your badge today.
It wasn't
that long ago when Corona started hitting this country and we didn't have enough PPE for nurses and doctors. And on my ICU, we were taking care of other nurses who are sick because they didn't have PPE. And now all of a sudden, when these protests broke out, cops have unlimited bullets, unlimited riot shields, they have unlimited support from the military, they have horses, they have helicopters, they have bullets. And so it's not an issue of how much money our government has to spend on us, it's that they don't want to prioritize it where it matters. And the truth is that the vast majority of patients I was treating were black, and the ones who were getting the most sick and dying were black. And so there's a reason our government didn't want to spend money where it mattered, and now they want to spend money policing black people instead. There is another protest that's happening right over there. It was supposed to start at 6. They are going to march down Michigan Avenue, and they have asked us to join them. So anyone that is willing to march down Michigan Avenue can go over to those gates over there. Please grab your waters and stay hydrated, but we are concluding this protest today. Thank you everyone coming. Black Lives Matter.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Nothing we say can be right,
طبعا ابقوا ويانا من واتساب ميديا شو الاخبار تي في، وتابعوا ويانا الاحتجاجات اللي وقفت تضامن مع جورج فلويد. وش راح نشوف هسه، نمشي نروح للشارع، طبعا مشي راح يروحون على شارع ميشيغان وراح نتابع وياهم. فنقلنا لكم الصوره والاحتجاجات من امام ديربورن بوليس، وهسه راح نروح على ميشيغان، راح تكون مسيره ووقفه ايضا هناك. ابقوا ويانا.
Black Lives Matter. No justice, no peace. You gotta say it. No peace. Thank you. I'm gonna give everybody a moment to do this. I hope you all are okay with walking today because we're going down Michigan Ave, okay? Thank you so much. Again, my name is Nakia Middleton. I don't have anything prepared, but I'm just really happy to be here. Dearborn Police welcomed us with open arms, and I'm just excited. Today initially was a ride out. We have a few bikes with us. We don't have many, but I'm glad that we are able to come together as a collective because that's the goal. Okay, this is a movement. The goal is for us to come together, understand the oppression blacks have gone through, and fix that moving forward. This is not just a today thing. This is going to be moving forward, each and every day moving forward. Okay?
Tomorrow and the next year.
Tomorrow and the next year and the next day and moving forward. I want to resident of Farmington Hills, a single mom of 2 kids, and the other day we were outside right now.
طبعا بس نحب نذكر بان هي المظاهرات سلميه وماكو اي طبعا شغلات صارت فد مشاكل او تخريب او موفمنت يعني على فد حركات، لا كل الشغل يعني كل المسيره هي سلميه وجاي يعبرون على رايهم الحر امام ديربون بوليس، وكل شيء يعني كل شيء تمام، وراح نواصل ونتابع وياكم من واتساب ميديا شو الاخبار تي في. ابقوا معنا.
way and told her to have a great day. But it's okay for blacks and anybody else to ride their bikes outside.
Yes.
We have to come out. It's okay for us to do that. The oppression has to stop. Okay? This is not just going to be, oh, Black Lives Matter. We're going to see change. Okay? After this, I want blacks and everybody else to come together as a group and figure out what that change is going to be. What do we need to do to get to that change? Thank you so much. We have to figure out a plan. We need to come together. We need to learn who we are as black people, as a whole people, and we need to begin to see that change. We have to call to action. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay? So I want you all to be with me. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're open. I'm glad to be here. Sergeant Steve Faith, he's been so supportive here at Dearborn Police, and I just want to thank you again. Okay, momentarily we're going to get out. We're going on the road to Michigan Ave. Dearborn Police is going to escort us down Michigan Ave to ensure our safety. And if we do, listen, it's a great turnout today. We can come back again, and you all can bring your bikes, and we can all ride out on our bikes and our motorcycles and our tricycles to really show that we are here to stay and we're here to see that change.
Yes.
I have my mentor today, Zara Northover. She's here. Thank you so much. She's here today. She's going to say a few words. I'm going to bring her up right now.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
I can't!
Breathe!
I can't!
Breathe!
I can't!
Breathe!
At one point in time, we are all told that when you're having a hard time and when you're stressed, that what do you need to do? You need to take a deep breath in. And now that's a trigger for black people. Let that sink in. It's a trigger to take a deep breath because it now is a privilege to be able to breathe. And that is what this world has become. This is what this has become over years and decades, over 400 years of this oppression. Have we advanced? Absolutely. Are we getting stronger? Absolutely. Do we have first graduates? Absolutely. New promotions and CEOs and all those different great things? Absolutely. But do we still have hate and crime?
Yes.
Do we still have pain and hunger?
Still have oppression.
We still have oppression. 8 minutes and 46 seconds of oppression of someone trying to breathe and catch their breath. A human right, not just a black right, a white right, a Muslim right, a Middle Eastern right, a Chaldean right, a Spanish right. That's a right. A human right was taken from a man. He said, mama, mama. How many mamas do we have? Shout it out for our mama.
You want his mom to help him? His mom couldn't help him. I cried because I'm a mom.
Exactly.
I wish I could have saved him.
We all want our mama.
We
We all want our
they should
mama.
have
We all want
stopped.
to breathe.
The cops should have.
And this was taken away from
The
George
people should have
Floyd.
stopped the cops from killing him. Attack them. Attack them.
was dead. That was the
March and attack them and tell them to stop. I will not let you kill another man.
Come on up here. Let's share the stage. Because this is what this is all about. It's sharing the stage.
I cried. I cried. It's not the first time I cried. I cry all the time. I came from a civil war, 1975, from Beirut, Lebanon. I know what war is like. I know how to watch your neighbors get exploded. I know what hungry feels like. I slept at 3 in the morning on stairs, day after day, and then we ran away for freedom. We came to the United States. Then my taxpayers' money went to help Israel, oppress the Palestinians. Then our good American police, revolving war, they pay the SWAT team of Israel in Tel Aviv to go train how to kick our ass like they do to the Palestinians. They teach them how to take the knee. They teach them where the arteries are. They teach them exactly how to make them die. We need to retrain the cops to give love to our communities. We are not their enemy. We should be holding hands together. That's the bottom line. So no more knee. That's illegal. That should be illegal for the cops. And stop sending our police officers to Israel and be proud to come back to teach. The Israelis teach our American police officers how to kill us and be proud to brag about it. They're arrogant. Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Black Lives Matter. No justice. No justice.
No peace.
When we come out here today, it's a call to action. It is a call to action for us to come together, not just today, but every day. The problem is we riot and we peaceful protest and we do all the things to come together, but then eventually it dies down and it stops. So I'm asking you, I am begging you, and I'm pleading with everyone that is here and everyone that is watching to call the government and demand change, to speak up in your corporate American places of work and demand change, to promote and to support the African Americans, the Muslims, everyone, but Black Lives Matter. And that is why we're here, because we are underpaid, we are underserved, we are underrepresented. We don't even have a right to breathe. And that is why we're here today, to not just represent and stand for George Floyd, but for all Black lives. And I thank you so much for coming out. I thank you so much for supporting. I thank you standing with solidarity with all of us today, because we need you today, tomorrow, and every day to come. So no justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
I can't!
Breathe!
I can't!
Breathe!
I can't! Breathe! Breathe! Breathe for George and breathe for all Black lives.
Thank you so much, Zara. Thank you so much. Right now we have Amar Dar, who's representing the Arabic community. He has a few words for us today.
Black Lives Matter! We are here today in Dearborn, Michigan, and as everyone knows, Dearborn, Michigan is the capital of Arab Americans. But it is so important. I want to hear all the Arab voices out there very loudly. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! We are here to show our solidarity with our Black brothers and sisters, not only because it's the right thing to do, but because as Arab Americans we know partly, just a small part of what it feels like to be marginalized in this country. So it's important that we show here our culture and our community is standing with our Black brothers and sisters in this time and in every time. And we're not here today just because of George Floyd. It's George Floyd, Tamir Rice, Brianna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Amadou Diallo, Michael Brown, Emmett Till, Philando Castile, all these things happening. Trayvon Martin, 2 days ago in Jerusalem, a Palestinian man named Iyad Halat, who's a 32-year-old autistic man, was killed by the Israeli police because they thought he had a gun. He didn't have a gun. They shot him 10 times on his own street. So we see these things happen in our homelands, and we know that it is our moral duty to stand up for it here. So no justice?
No peace!
No justice?
No peace!
We say justice before peace. They think we're going to give them peace without justice. That's not going to happen. So I want everyone here. I don't want them just to hear you on the streets. I want them to hear you in Minneapolis. I want them to hear you in Washington, D.C. as we're walking down. Hopefully our sisters here will direct us where to go. But be very loud and proud, especially in this city, which has such a history of discrimination against Black people. Especially here in Dearborn, where yes, Arab Americans are here and it's our capital, but we have anti-Blackness in our community too. And we got to call it out in our community whenever we see it. So standing here today is a statement from our community to say that we stand with our Black brothers and sisters in this struggle. So thank you. I love all of you. Keep yelling it loud. No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you. Where are we going from here? All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are heading over to walk. I'm going to speak with Sergeant Faith and see where we're going to go from here, but we are going down Michigan Ave. We're going east because we're peaceful. We're going to be peaceful and powerful. That's why. Dearborn Police has welcomed us with open arms. They're going to escort us to ensure our safety. Like I said, we're going down Michigan Ave. They're right here. They're right here. Powerful and peaceful. Give me a moment. We'll be directing everybody in Michigan Ave. Thank you so much for supporting.
The Detroit police was right here. They were walking with us.
and gentlemen, we have to have some direction. I have Sergeant Faith with me right now.
Real quick, I want to make it clear that what happened had me in tears as well, okay? I cried the second I saw the video. Secondly, I'm asking permission to walk with you guys.
Yeah. There we go.
That we can walk with you. I'm asking permission to walk with you.
You can walk with us.
Black Lives Matter.
Black lives do matter.
What do you want us to do? What do you just go out?
I will lead you out to, we're going to go out to Michigan Avenue, then we're going to go down to Schaefer.
الو تيست 1 2 تيست 1 2 طبعا خلصت تقريبا هنا وقفة الاحتجاج، وهسه راح يبدون بالمسيرة على شارع ميشيغان، وتنظيم حلو. ونذكر يعني ماكو اي شغلات صارت مشاكل او دفع او تخريب، بالعكس تلقوا فد شيء جدا لطيف من الناس اللي متضامنه وياهم ومن البوليس ايضا. يعني هسه مثل ما سمعنا البوليس يعني حاول ياخذ البرميشن مالتهم، قال لهم يعني اذا اقدر امشي وياكم احميكم اساعدكم، فكلهم فرحانين. وهسه راح نتابع وياكم اخويانا من وساب ميديا شو الاخبار تي في. جليل بصر وياكم. طبعا عذرا على الصورة، خاف إذا جاي يشوفون الصورة تحاول بأن ترتج، فنرجو الاعتذار يعني لأن حامل اللايف الكاميرا وجاي شوية نمشي وجو حار طبعا وتعب، بس احنا ننقل الصورة لكم حتى تبقون بالصورة تشوفون اللي جاي شنو جاي يصير وشنو جاي يحدث بديربورن ميشيغان. نرجو المعذرة على الصورة إذا كانت في ارتجاج مرة ثانية.
I'll yell if you yell.
طبعا نعتذر على الصورة لأن ترج يعني sorry لأن the picture has been shaky. We do like apologize for that issue, and we will continue to walk with them to over to Michigan Avenue. نعتذر على الرج الصورة لأن جاي نمشي وحاملين الكاميرا على البث المباشر من وس اب ميديا. شو الأخبار تيفي، ابقوا معانا نتابع نقل الأحداث لحظة بلحظة من واتساب ميديا من ديربورن ميشيغان. المتظاهرين احتجاجا على مقتل جورج فلويد. مظاهرات سلمية طبعا ما حدثت أي أمور مشاكل أو تعرقل أو شغلات تدمير، كل الأمور طبيعية وتعاون مع شرطة ديربون أيضا. Fuck you! Yeah, I'm okay, but I got tired. It's okay.
Need a rescue or anything?
A rescue?
An ambulance.
Oh, no, I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Sure? Sure?
Yeah, I go to work. I get tired. Thanks. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. عليكم السلام. هلا
طلبت مساعدة؟
والله يا علي وينكم؟
والله أساعدك.
ترقبون اللي قدام. Oh yes.
The cars pass, the cars are going to start coming.
All right. I'm gonna go out, so.
Yeah, I just don't want you getting hit or stuck
I know.
in the middle.
Yes, thank you very much. يلا تعالوا ساعدوني وين تعال شيلوا هاي. لا هاي عافية تقدر تشيلها بس خليها ستريت.
شو؟
عافية لا منها.
كيف؟
منها وامشي بيها.
يلا.
اللي البكتشر منها. شكرا حبيبي. ايوه.
بس روح اسرع شوي.
يلا بس مو بعيد تبعد وياي شو اسمه الماي قريب علي.
اوكي.
شكرا حبيبي.
شوي عمل.
اي لا من هناك شوي بعده.
لك ماي او شو تشربه ولا؟
حبيبي شكرا. في عندك ماي؟ اذا عندك ماي سو اوكي.
بنطول لك.
نو نو ذاتس فاين. اي gonna go walk.
ها؟
Kroger, there's water.
هلا بمشي.
اكيد يعني قادر يعني؟
We can help you carry this stuff.
Thank you no thank you very much.
أكيد.
والله I gonna go like to my car. Park it next to the
Next to the police station. Yeah, we're parked there too.
Oh really? Are you gonna go walk in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are you,
All right.
So you don't need help carrying?
No, thank
the
you very
camera looks heavy.
Okay. If you want.
Yeah.
Okay. طبعا نشكركم وابقوا هذا اللي قدرنا ننقله لكم بساعات طويله من امام ديربورن بوليس، وشفنا المحتجين يعني احتجاج سلمي، وما شاء الله يعني كان تعاون حلو وعلاقه شفافه بينهم وبين المتظاهرين ومتعاونين جدا معاهم، وايضا كان البوليس ايضا متعاون معاهم ووفر لهم الامان على شارع ميشيغان، وكانت شفتوا يمكن السيارات الى الامام وسيارات البوليس والى الخلف، وشيء جدا رائع. وهذا كل ما حبينا ننقل لكم من ولايه ميشيغان ديربورن، من المدينه من التاون مال ديربورن. واتساب تي في شو الاخبار. عودنا لكم مرة ثانية وننقل لكم الصورة. معاكم مراسلكم جليل البصري من مدينة ديربورن ميشيغان. السلام عليكم.